Here's a claim that's sitting right in front of you, already half proven, and it's easy to walk past. When the VA rates you for a condition, that rating doesn't just pay you. It becomes a foundation. Any new problem that your rated condition caused or made worse can be connected to your service through that first rating, without you ever having to reach back to a service event from 20 years ago. That's a secondary condition, and it's one of the more winnable claims you can file. There's a catch, and it's the whole reason vets leave this money on the table. The VA won't connect these for you. It rates what you filed for, and nothing else. So the work is yours. Walk each rated condition down the road to what it caused, get a short medical opinion on each link, and file. This chapter is that map, and by the end, you'll be able to draw your own. This is the Veteran Field Manual, plain English VA benefits by the rules. If that's what you're after, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter. Now let's turn one rating into the several it can unlock. Most people picture service connection as one straight line. Something happened in service, it caused a condition, and that condition got a rating. That line is real, but it's not the only one. There's a second line, and it runs from a condition the VA has already rated to a new problem that grew out of it. That new problem is the secondary, and the law is on your side here. The regulation says a disability that's proximately due to or the result of a service-connected condition is itself service-connected, and it's treated as part of that original condition. So the VA is required to connect it. The condition is on that one word, required, but only if you actually file for it. Here's why this is the underused multiplier. On a normal claim, you have to prove the condition traces all the way back to your service, sometimes across decades, with records that may not exist anymore. On a secondary, the link only has to reach the condition that's already rated. You're connecting two current medical problems, and that's a much smaller job than reconstructing something from 20 years ago. Same reward, a fraction of the proof. Go through each rated condition and ask a simple question. What else did this cause or make worse? A few chains come up again and again, and they're the place to start. One quick note before we walk them. This is general information, not medical or legal advice, so map your own chain with a doctor who knows your history. Start with a rated knee. When your knee's bad, you change how you walk and you favor the other leg. Over time, that loads the opposite hip and strains your lower back. It's well recognized in the orthopedic world, and it's a common path from one knee rating to a hip or a back rating. Next, post-traumatic stress disorder. It disrupts your sleep, it drives weight changes, it alters your muscle tone at night. The link between post-traumatic stress and sleep apnea is established enough that it's widely granted when you bring a nexus opinion. That's a rated mental health condition opening a separate, rateable physical one. Then there's the medicine itself. The drugs used for post-traumatic stress or chronic pain, the anti-inflammatories, some of the psychiatric medications, they irritate your stomach and cause reflux. If a rated condition is the reason you're on those meds, and the meds cause the reflux, that reflux is a secondary too. The chain can run through your treatment, not just the condition. And one more, because it's textbook. Service-connected type 2 diabetes, which many Vietnam-era vets carry under the Agent Orange presumptions, damages your nerves and your kidneys over the years. Diabetic neuropathy and kidney disease are secondaries the VA grants routinely. These four aren't the whole list. Any condition that flows medically from a rated one is worth a hard look. Every secondary runs down one of two routes, and they come from the same regulation, but you prove them differently. The first is causation. Your rated condition proximately caused the new one. It has to be a real, direct cause, though it doesn't have to be the only cause, the way a bad knee causes a bad back. That's section 3.310, subsection A. The second route is aggravation. Here you already had a condition, from before service or one that came up on its own, and it was never service-connected. Then your rated condition made it worse, beyond how it would have progressed naturally. The VA doesn't pay for the whole condition in that case. It pays for the extra disability that the worsening added. That's subsection B. Aggravation comes with one extra job, and it's the one that sinks these claims. You have to establish a baseline. That means medical evidence created before the worsening started, showing how bad the condition already was, or the earliest records you can find. VA takes your current severity, subtracts that baseline and anything that was just natural progression, and rates what's left. No documented before state, nothing to measure against, and the claim fails. This is exactly why you dig up your oldest records. Whichever route you're on, a secondary still isn't automatic. It needs a medical nexus, an opinion tying the two conditions together. But here's the good part. That burden's usually lighter because a doctor can examine you now, look at your current records, and give an opinion on whether your rated condition caused or worsened the new one. It's a question about the present, something a clinician can actually see instead of a guess about the past. How to get a nexus letter that holds up is its own chapter. When you're ready, you file each secondary as its own claim on VA form 21-5-26-EZ with the nexus attached. Two things make it go smoother. If a condition was denied before, you don't start over. You file a supplemental claim with the new nexus as new and relevant evidence. And when you can, file a secondary alongside the primary it's tied to, because they share medical evidence and one exam may cover both. Now, the reason any of this matters: every secondary you win gets its own rating, and ratings don't just add, they stack through the combined ratings math, the same VA math we covered before, into a higher overall rating and a bigger monthly check, and it compounds past the money. Enough stacked ratings can push you over the line for TDIU, which pays at the 100% rate even without a 100% scheduler rating. One first rating mapped out can become several. Let me flag the traps because they're where the money leaks out. Waiting for the VA to notice your secondaries, it won't, and anything you don't file just stays unrated. Filing a secondary with no nexus, there's nothing bridging the two conditions, so it goes nowhere. And filing an aggravation claim with no baseline records, the VA can't calculate the extra, so it fails. Two more. Treating a secondary as if it's already folded into the primary's rating, it isn't, it's a separate claim that earns its own rating. And the big one, stopping at your first rating and never mapping the rest. That first rating is a foundation. Every downstream condition you skip is money you leave sitting there. Three things to carry out of here. First, a secondary is any new condition your rated condition caused or made worse, and the proof only has to reach that rated condition, not all the way back to service. Second, you're on one of two routes, causation or aggravation, and aggravation needs a baseline from your old records. Third, the VA won't connect these for you, so you map each rated condition, get a nexus on each link, and file. So here's your move this week. List every service-connected condition you've got. Sit down with a doctor and walk each one down its likely chain, what it may have caused or worsened. For each candidate, decide if it's causation or aggravation, and if it's aggravation, pull your earliest records to set that baseline. Get a short nexus opinion on each link, then file each one on 21-5-26-EZ with the nexus attached, and bundle it with a related primary when you can. If this gave you a claim you didn't know you had, share it with another vet. Somebody you served with is carrying a rated condition right now that's quietly caused a second one, and nobody's told them they can file for it. And to get the next chapter when it drops, subscribe and leave your question in the comments. Odds are, it's the same question another veteran is searching for tonight, so asking it helps them find this too. You already did the hard part when you got that first rating. Secondaries are you collecting on it? If you want to see how those stacked ratings actually combine into a higher number, watch the VA math video next. It's the step that pairs with this one. This is the Veteran Field Manual. Stay in the fight.